Every day, this monastery sees hundreds of devotees, some with hands full of offerings, others simply standing on the steps with their eyes closed, palms together, complete with a solemn expression. The Lianshan Shuanglin Monastery, built in 1901, was the first Buddhist temple in Singapore. For over 100 years, the monastery has been standing here, attracting devotees from all over Singapore and the world. To the residents of Toa Payoh New Town, the monastery is an integral feature in the physical and cultural landscape of their neighborhood. The monastery has been a pillar of support for its people through some of Singapore's darkest times. And this has prompted people like Achai to do a part for the monastery. Achai, an old resident of Toa Payoh, sells joss sticks at the temple.
卖香就是有时候你看我们现在年纪大了，就没有什么地方去了，有时候就来这边帮帮手。我的太太也是在这里跟他说的是那个也是帮手卖香。60几年的时候，有一次算比较淹的大一点啦，大概淹了大概有5、6天左右，它水淹了一直不退了。有些居民啊会跑来说的是避这样啦，避可能呢和尚你知道吗？的法师比较慈悲啊，避着你们来可以避可以什么暂时避这样啦。
Toa Payoh used to be known as An Siang Shan or Burial Hill to the older generation because of a cemetery located here. Years after the clearance of the cemetery, people still make Toa Payoh the top choice to house the ashes of their beloved ones. Toa Payoh was one of the first suburban satellite towns built in the early 1970s. Today, Toa Payoh is still buzzing with activity, complete with well-appointed facilities and amenities and an ultra-contemporary vibe. But a little-known fact is that Toa Payoh used to be an extensive and notorious squatter district. It was even known to be the Chicago of Singapore for its high crime rate. Toa Payoh is an example of how the old and new continue to coexist in modern Singapore. Who says we can't have the best of both worlds? In another part of Toa Payoh, there remains a confectionery which continues to keep its old-school interior and also the most traditional way of baking. In this day and age where everything is automated and computerized, time seems to stand still in this bakery which still bakes bread the traditional way.
还是有人喜欢传统的东西的，传统的味道它是不会变。即使我做到现在，我还是怀念我的父亲的那个手法的味道，甚至我爷爷的传统。其实是说停留在那个阶段，我们会去怀念一下。那么新式的就是吃了就算了，就没有了。
Established in 1972, this confectionery is the oldest in Toa Payoh. Fluffy. Every morning, residents awake to the blissful aroma of fresh bread baking. While there have been new additions to the baker's repertoire, some of the old evergreen classics popular among older Singaporeans are still produced here.
随着时代的变迁改变，因为要迎合人家的口味，所以就演变这种新款的面包了。
It's comforting to know that even though much of Toa Payoh has changed dramatically since the 1970s, the spirit of old Toa Payoh continues to thrive.
改变是 center 啦 ，center 那边的繁华的比较改变比较多，这边的收了，都是差不多了，除了主物漂亮一点。
有那个中心啊，什么啊，这样好像比较热闹这样啊，好吧？没有中心什么。 有一些专门什么小贩中心，那个要比以前的好很多了。
Toa Payoh seems to be a neighborhood in constant evolution, from squatter district in the early days of Singapore to pioneer satellite town in the 1970s, and now a modern business and industrial hub today. Whatever its incarnation in the future, Toa Payoh will always have a special place in the hearts of Singaporeans.